The massive alien warship floated silently in the darkness of space, its crystalline surface reflecting the distant stars. In the command center, Blue Sky stood tall, his four eyes fixed on the holographic display of a small blue planet. His skin shimmered with anticipation, changing from its usual deep purple to an excited bright blue. This primitive world would be his greatest victory yet, even if it was just a simple mining operation. "Supreme Commander," one of his officers called out, "our scans show they've only recently mastered nuclear fission. They haven't even established a proper colony on their own moon." Blue Sky's mouth tentacles curled in what his species considered a smile. The coalition of 7 suns had conquered hundreds of worlds, and this one would be no different. These humans, as they called themselves, were still fighting among themselves with primitive projectile weapons and basic explosive devices. They would make perfect mining slaves for the coalition's crystal mines. "Prepare the invasion fleet," Blue Sky ordered. "A single battle group should be more than enough." Meanwhile, on Earth, in a deep underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Commander Rose stood before a wall of screens, her gray eyes reflecting the soft blue glow of the monitors. She was a tall woman with short black hair streaked with gray, her military uniform crisp and neat despite the late hour. The facility around her hummed with activity as technicians and military personnel moved with purpose through the stark corridors. "They're here," she said quietly, watching as the alien ships appeared on the long-range sensors. The moment they had prepared for during the last 50 years had finally arrived. Ever since they had discovered the crashed scout ship in 1972, Earth had been getting ready for this day. One of the younger officers, Tom, looked up from his station. "Should we alert the other defense centers, Commander?" Rose nodded, her expression calm despite the gravity of the situation. "Activate Protocol Omega, and get me a direct line to the World Defense Council." Within hours, as the alien fleet moved closer to Earth's orbit, government leaders around the world received the coded message they had hoped would never come. "The storm has arrived." In orbit around Mars, Blue Sky watched with satisfaction as his fleet of 30 warships moved into attack formation. According to all their intelligence, Earth's defenses consisted of nothing more than a few primitive satellites and some nuclear weapons. His mission was simple: disable their major military installations, demonstrate the coalition's power, and demand their surrender. "Supreme Commander," his second-in-command reported, "we're detecting some unusual energy readings from the planet." Blue Sky dismissed the concern with a wave of his upper arm. "Probably they're nuclear reactors. Nothing our shields can't handle." The fleet moved past Mars, their engines glowing with beautiful purple energy that had powered coalition ships for 10,000 years. Blue Sky imagined how impressive his ships must look to the primitive humans, like gods descending from the heavens. Back on Earth, Rose walked through a massive underground hangar where workers were removing the holographic camouflage from rows of sleek spacecraft. These ships, built using technology reversed engineered from the crashed alien vessel, represented humanity's best-kept secret. For 50 years, the world's greatest minds had worked together in secret, preparing for this moment. "All defense stations report ready," Tom announced over the intercom. "Quantum shields are powered up and stable." Rose allowed herself a small smile. The aliens had no idea that their scout ship had crashed on Earth decades ago, or that humans had not only learned from it, but had improved upon its technology. The quantum shields were just the beginning. In space, Blue Sky's fleet entered Earth's orbit. He stood proudly before his command screen, ready to deliver his demands to the humans. But before he could transmit his message, his sensors officer called out in alarm. "Supreme Commander." Multiple energy signatures appearing worldwide. Blue Sky's skin rippled with shock as hidden installations across Earth's surface powered up simultaneously. A shimmering, translucent barrier began forming around the planet, using technology that should have been impossible for such a primitive species to possess. "Impossible," Blue Sky whispered, his skin turning pale gray with fear. They have quantum barrier technology. But the surprises weren't over. From hidden bases across Earth's surface, hundreds of fighters rose into the sky, their designs unlike anything the Coalition had ever seen. They were an impossible hybrid of human and alien technology, more advanced in some ways than even Coalition ships. Rose's voice echoed through all Earth's defense channels. All units, execute Battle Plan Alpha. Show them what humanity can do. The Earth fighters moved with incredible speed and agility, their pilots having trained for years in secret facilities around the world. They had studied alien technology, learned its weaknesses, and designed their weapons specifically to exploit them. Blue Sky watched in horror as the first wave of Earth fighters engaged his fleet. His ship's energy shields, impenetrable to normal weapons, flickered and failed under the assault of weapons that shouldn't have existed on such a primitive world. The humans were using modified versions of Coalition technology, but they had somehow improved it in ways his scientists had never imagined. "How is this possible?" he demanded, his skin now almost white with terror. "They're supposed to be primitives." In her command center, Rose watched the battle unfold with grim satisfaction. "Launch the Fireflies," she ordered. Thousands of small drone-like devices swarmed out from Earth's surface, surrounding the alien ships. These tiny machines, inspired by Earth's insects, began interfering with the Coalition's communication systems and shield frequencies. Blue Sky's fleet began to fall into chaos. His ships, designed to fight conventional battles against known enemies, were completely unprepared for Earth's hybrid technology and unconventional tactics. The humans weren't fighting like any species they had encountered before. They were combining technologies and strategies in ways that defied all military logic. "Full retreat," Blue Sky ordered, his voice shaking. "Return to base immediately." But as his ships turned to flee, they found their faster-than-light drives wouldn't activate. The humans had somehow created a field that prevented their ships from escaping. In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, Rose watched as Earth's forces surrounded the alien fleet. "Send the message," she ordered. Blue Sky received the transmission in all Coalition languages. "You entered our solar system uninvited, bearing weapons of war. We could destroy your fleet now, but we choose to show mercy. Return to your Coalition. Tell them what you found here. Tell them that Earth is not for conquest. We will defend our home, and we are far more prepared than you imagined." As the human fighters parted to create an escape corridor, Blue Sky's fleet retreated in disarray, leaving behind several damaged ships that had to be abandoned. His skin had turned almost transparent with shock and fear. In just a few hours, everything he thought he knew about warfare and technological superiority had been proven wrong. Rose watched the alien ships flee, knowing this was just the beginning. Humanity had revealed itself to the galaxy, but they had shown only a fraction of their true capabilities. In other secret bases around the world, even more advanced weapons and ships were waiting, ready for the larger invasion that would surely come. "Send word to all commands," she ordered. "Begin Phase 2 preparations. The Coalition will be back, and next time they'll bring their full force." She turned to look at the abandoned alien ships now being towed to Earth by human vessels. "And get our research teams ready. I want to know everything about their technology by the time they return." The first battle was over, but Rose knew the real war was just beginning. Humanity had survived its first contact with alien invaders, but they had also revealed themselves as a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy would never be the same, and Earth's time of hiding in the shadows was over. Word spread quickly through the Coalition's worlds about the disaster at Earth. Blue Sky's defeat had shocked the 7 alien empires to their core. In the great meeting hall of the Coalition's capital world, the 7 supreme leaders gathered to discuss this unexpected threat. The Grand Master of the Coalition, an ancient being known as Star Weaver, floated in the center of the hall, his crystalline body glowing with anger. "How did primitives defeat our fleet? This is unacceptable." Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Rose stood in the newly revealed Global Defense Center in Geneva. Representatives from every nation sat together. Watching as she explained humanity's next steps. The room was filled with the quiet hum of translation devices, ensuring everyone could understand each other perfectly. "The coalition will return," Rose said, pointing to the giant screen behind her showing the predicted invasion routes. "But this time, they'll come with everything they have. We need to be ready." In the 3 days since the first battle, Earth had changed dramatically. Hidden facilities around the world were now visible. Their quantum camouflage dropped to reveal massive shipyards and defense installations. In orbit, the construction of Earth's first major space station was nearly complete, built from pieces that had been secretly assembled over decades. Tom, now promoted to captain, approached Rose with a tablet showing the latest reports. "The captured alien ships have given us exactly what we needed, Commander. Their database confirmed everything we learned from the scout ship, plus decades of their tactical information." Rose nodded, studying the data. The Coalition's arrogance had worked in Earth's favor. They hadn't even bothered to wipe their computers before retreating. "How long until the new defense grid is ready?" "Another day at most," Tom replied. "The quantum shields are already stronger than before, and the new early warning system covers the entire solar system." In deep space, Blue Sky faced the Coalition Council, his skin gray with shame as he explained his defeat. They had technology that should have been impossible for them to possess. Their weapons, their shields, they were using our own designs against us, but somehow made them better. The council members muttered among themselves, their various alien forms shifting with agitation. One of them, a being of pure energy contained in a mechanical suit, spoke up. "How did they acquire our technology?" "The lost scout ship," another council member realized. "The one that vanished 50 Earth years ago. They must have found it." Back on Earth, in a massive underground facility beneath the Australian outback, scientists and engineers worked on humanity's newest weapons. They had learned from studying alien technology that each species in the Coalition had its own unique approach to science and war. Some focused on energy weapons, others on shield technology, and still others on biological systems. But humans had done something no other species had thought to do. They had combined all these different approaches into new forms of technology. Rose walked through the facility, watching as workers assembled fighters that could switch between different alien shield frequencies while using hybrid weapons that combined multiple alien technologies. "Commander," one of the scientists called out, "we finished analyzing their communication systems. We can not only intercept their transmissions now, but also send our own messages through their network." This was humanity's greatest advantage, the ability to take ideas from different sources and combine them in new ways. While each alien species had spent thousands of years perfecting their own technology, humans had learned from them all and created something entirely new. In Coalition space, a massive fleet was assembling. 5,000 warships, gathered from all 7 empires, prepared for the assault on Earth. Starweaver himself would lead the attack, determined to crush this upstart species before they could become an even greater threat. "These humans have stolen our technology," Starweaver announced to his commanders. "They must be punished. We will destroy their defenses, burn their cities, and ensure no other primitive species ever dares to challenge the Coalition." But even as he spoke, human agents were already at work. Using the captured alien technology, Earth had launched dozens of small, stealthy probes throughout Coalition space. These probes, combining stealth technology from 3 different alien species, were gathering intelligence and preparing for humanity's counterstrike. Rose received the reports from these probes with grim satisfaction. "They're gathering their fleet exactly where we predicted," she told the World Defense Council. "Time to launch Phase 2. Across Earth, new weapons platforms emerged from their hidden bunkers. These weren't just copied alien weapons. They were completely new designs. Humanity had taken the principles behind Coalition technology and pushed them in directions the aliens had never imagined. In orbit, the first wave of Earth's new defense fleet took position. The ships looked nothing like Coalition vessels. Where alien ships were elegant and specialized, human ships were sturdy and adaptable, capable of changing their configuration mid-battle to counter any threat. All defense grid stations report ready, Tom announced from his new position in the orbital command center. Quantum shields are at full power, and our new hybrid weapons are online. The Coalition fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system, their 5,000 ships forming an armada that would have struck fear into any other species. Starweaver stood proudly on his command ship, certain that this overwhelming force would crush the human rebels. But as his fleet approached Mars, they encountered their first surprise. The quantum barrier around Earth now extended throughout the solar system, creating a maze-like defense grid that forced the Coalition ships to move exactly where Earth's defenders wanted them. Impossible. Starweaver raged as his fleet was channeled into predetermined corridors of space. They've expanded the barrier technology far beyond what should be possible. Rose watched from the orbital command center as the trap was sprung. Earth's defenders had spent 50 years preparing for this moment, and they had learned well from humanity's long history of warfare. Just as ancient armies had used terrain to their advantage, Earth's forces now used the very fabric of space to control the battlefield. All units, execute Battle Plan Delta, Rose commanded. Show them everything we've got. The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries throughout the galaxy. Earth's ships, smaller but far more numerous than anyone had expected, swarmed the Coalition fleet. They adapted their weapons and shields on the fly, countering each alien tactic with 3 of their own. The Coalition commanders found themselves facing an enemy that seemed to know all their strengths and weaknesses, while constantly presenting new challenges they had never trained for. Humanity's hybrid technology proved impossible to predict or counter effectively. Tom coordinated the defense grid's energy fields, watching as Coalition ships found themselves trapped in bubbles of warped spacetime, their weapons and shields rendered useless by combinations of technology that should never have worked together. "This is impossible," Starweaver shouted as his flagship systems failed one by one. "How are they doing this? How can they understand our technology better than we do?" The answer, of course, was simple. Humanity had done what it had always done best: learn, adapt, and improve. While the Coalition species had each focused on perfecting their own path, humans had studied them all and found new ways to make them work together. As the battle raged on, Rose prepared to deliver the message that would change the galaxy forever. Earth was no longer just defending itself. It was about to take its place as a power that even the mighty Coalition would have to respect. The Coalition's grand fleet was in chaos. Starweaver watched in horror as his ships, the pride of 7 empires, fell one by one to Earth's impossible defenses. But the humans weren't just winning. They were teaching the Coalition a lesson about warfare that would shake the foundations of their society. "Launch the Project Phoenix ships," Commander Rose ordered from the orbital command center. The massive hangar doors built into Earth's moon slowly opened, revealing humanity's greatest achievement yet. The ships that emerged looked like nothing the Coalition had ever seen. They were dark gray, almost invisible against the backdrop of space, with surfaces that seemed to shift and change like liquid metal. These were the first true human-designed warships, incorporating technology from all 7 Coalition species into something entirely new. Tom stood at his station, monitoring the Phoenix ship's power levels. "All systems are green, Commander. The transformation systems are ready for their first real combat test." The Phoenix ships moved toward the Coalition fleet, their forms already beginning to change. Some stretched out into long, needle-like shapes, perfect for piercing through enemy formations. Others expanded into broad, flat configurations that could absorb and redirect energy weapons. The Coalition's tactical computers, designed to predict enemy movements, simply couldn't handle ships that could completely change their form and function in the middle of battle. Starweaver's skin had turned almost white with fear. "What kind of demons have we awakened?" he whispered as he watched a Phoenix ship transform from a defensive platform into an offensive weapon in seconds, its entire structure reorganizing itself to adapt to the battle. In the Geneva Command Center, World leaders watched in awe as humanity's secret weapon proved its worth. The Phoenix ships weren't just winning the battle, they were completely changing the rules of space warfare. When coalition ships adapted to one form, the Phoenix ships simply changed into something else. Their AI systems can't predict our moves, Rose explained to the gathered leaders, because we're not fighting like machines. We're fighting like humans, adapting, improvising, combining different strategies in ways their logical systems can't understand. Deep in coalition space, the news of the battle was spreading. The mighty coalition fleet, which had never known defeat in 10,000 years, was being systematically taken apart by a species that had only recently mastered spaceflight. The Phoenix ships became the stuff of nightmares, vessels that could change their very nature at will, using technology that should have been impossible to combine. One of Starweaver's advisors, trembling with fear, approached him on the command deck. "Grandmaster, we've detected something even worse. The humans, they're not just using our technology, they're improving it. Their quantum shields are operating at frequencies we thought were impossible. Their weapons are combining principles that our scientists said could never work together." Rose received constant updates as the battle progressed. The Phoenix ships were performing even better than simulations had predicted. Each transformation, each impossible combination of alien technologies, sent waves of panic through the coalition fleet. But more importantly, Earth's forces were gathering vital combat data that would make the next generation of ships even more effective. "Commander," Tom called out, his voice excited. "The coalition's command ships are starting to retreat. Their formation is breaking apart." But Rose wasn't finished yet. As the coalition fleet began to withdraw in disorder, she gave the order that would change the galaxy forever. Launch the infiltrator probes. Small, nearly invisible devices shot out from the Phoenix ships, attaching themselves to the retreating coalition vessels. These probes, combining stealth technology from 3 different alien species with human innovation, would allow Earth to monitor the coalition's movements and communications across their entire empire. Starweaver's retreat turned into a rout as more of his ships fell to the Phoenix fleet. The once proud coalition armada was reduced to a scattered group of survivors, desperately jumping to light speed in random directions to escape the nightmare they had encountered. In the aftermath of the battle, Rose stood in the orbital command center, looking out at the debris field that had once been the coalition's greatest fleet. The Phoenix ships were transforming back to their neutral configurations, their surfaces rippling like mercury as they resumed their standard forms. "Send the message to all coalition frequencies," she ordered. The words that followed were broadcast in all 7 coalition languages. "You came to conquer us, believing we were primitive and weak. Instead, you found that humanity had spent 50 years preparing for this day. We took your technology, improved it, and combined it in ways you never imagined possible. Remember this lesson: Earth is not your prey. We are your evolution." The message spread quickly through coalition space, along with recordings of the Phoenix ships in action. The 7 empires, which had dominated the galaxy through technological superiority, suddenly found themselves facing a species that could not only match their technology, but improve upon it in ways they had never considered. In the weeks that followed, Earth's infiltrator probes revealed the full impact of their victory. The coalition was in turmoil. Some empires wanted to launch an even larger attack on Earth, while others argued for peaceful contact. But all of them were terrified by the same realization: humanity had done in 50 years what their civilizations hadn't achieved in 10,000. Rose met with the World Defense Council to discuss their next steps. The holographic displays showed the positions of coalition worlds and fleets, all gathered from their hidden probes. "We've shown them our strength," she said. "Now we need to show them our wisdom. We don't want to rule their empires. We want to help them grow." Tom presented the latest analysis from the battle. "The Phoenix ships exceeded all expectations, Commander. Their ability to transform mid-battle completely broke the coalition's tactical doctrine. They've never encountered an enemy that could adapt so quickly. But humanity's greatest advantage wasn't just their technology. It was their mindset. While the coalition species had each focused on perfecting their own path, humans had learned to take the best from everyone and create something greater than the sum of its parts. In his shattered flagship, limping back to coalition space, Starweaver finally understood the truth. Earth wasn't just another world to conquer. It was an entirely new kind of civilization, one that could take the achievements of other species and transform them into something more. The coalition had ruled through power and fear, but Earth had shown them a different way, the power of adaptation and innovation. Rose looked out at the stars, knowing that this was just the beginning. Humanity had revealed itself to the galaxy not as conquerors, but as innovators. The Phoenix ships were more than just weapons. They were a symbol of humanity's greatest strength, the ability to learn, adapt, and grow beyond what anyone thought possible. 3 months after the Great Battle, Earth was ready to take its next step. The Phoenix ships had proven their worth in defense, but now it was time to show the coalition that humanity could do more than just protect its own world. Commander Rose stood on the bridge of the Earth's first diplomatic vessel, the Tomorrow, as it prepared to enter coalition space. The Tomorrow was unlike any ship ever built, designed to showcase humanity's unique approach to technology. Its hull could switch between completely transparent and solid metal. Its internal spaces could reconfigure to match the environmental needs of any alien species, and its defensive systems could adapt to any attack. But most importantly, it carried Earth's message of peaceful cooperation, along with a clear demonstration of what would happen to those who rejected that peace. "All systems are ready," Tom reported from his station. He had insisted on joining this mission, even though it meant leaving Earth for the first time. "The stealth probes we launched during the battle have mapped every major coalition world. We know exactly where to go." Rose nodded, watching as the Tomorrow's crew made final preparations. The ship's crew was as diverse as humanity itself, chosen not just for their skills, but for their ability to think in new ways. "Begin the jump sequence. Let's show them what peaceful first contact should look like." Meanwhile, in the coalition capital, Starweaver faced the most difficult meeting of his long life. The 7 ruling councils were in chaos, arguing about how to handle the human threat. Some wanted to gather an even larger fleet for another attack, while others insisted on immediate surrender. "You don't understand," Starweaver told them, his skin shifting between colors of fear and frustration. "I saw their ships change shape in the middle of battle. I watched them combine our technologies in ways that should be impossible. We can't fight them. They'll just adapt to whatever we do." The debate was interrupted by an urgent message. A strange ship had appeared simultaneously in orbit around 7 different coalition worlds, one above each empire's capital. Somehow, the humans had found a way to be everywhere at once. On the Tomorrow, Rose prepared to broadcast her message. The ship's advanced systems had already tapped into every coalition communication network, ensuring that every being in their space would hear her words. "People of the coalition," she began, her words automatically translated into all alien languages. "We are not here for revenge. We are not here to conquer. We are here to offer you something your empires have forgotten. The chance to grow, to change, to become more than you are." As she spoke, the Tomorrow demonstrated its capabilities. At each capital world, the ship shifted through different configurations, showing how human innovation had improved upon coalition technology. The display was both beautiful and terrifying, a dance of impossible transformations that proved Earth's mastery over the very principles of coalition science. "Your empires have spent thousands of years perfecting your individual technologies," Rose continued. "But you never learned to work together, to combine your knowledge in new ways. Humanity's strength isn't in our weapons or our shields. It's in our ability to see connections that others miss." In his council chamber, Starweaver watched in amazement as the Tomorrow transformed itself into a perfect replica of each coalition species' architectural styles, one after another. The ship wasn't just displaying technology. It was speaking to each species in the visual language they understood best. "We've established bases throughout your space," Rose revealed, causing panic among coalition leaders. "Not for war, but for cooperation. Each base contains examples of how your technologies can work together, creating something greater than any one empire could achieve alone." The Tomorrow sensors detected hundreds of coalition ships moving to attack positions, but Rose remained calm. This was expected. The ship's defensive systems were ready, combining different alien shield technologies in ways that made it virtually invulnerable. "You can attack if you wish," she told them. "But ask yourselves, if we can do this much in peacetime, what else might we achieve in war? We defeated your greatest fleet. We mapped your empire without you knowing. We stand above your capitals now, not as conquerors, but as teachers." Tom monitored the coalition's communications as they frantically discussed their options. Some leaders were already calling for immediate alliance with Earth, seeing the opportunity to learn these new techniques. Others remained suspicious, but their fear of Earth's capabilities kept them from taking hostile action. "To prove our intentions," Rose continued, "we offer you this gift." The Tomorrow released small devices into orbit around each capital world. These are knowledge cores, containing basic information about how to combine your technologies. Study them. Learn from them. Understand that this is only the beginning of what we can teach you. The coalition leaders scrambled to retrieve and analyze the knowledge cores. What they found astonished them. Simple but elegant combinations of their technologies that no one had ever thought to try. It was proof that humans weren't just copying alien science. They were understanding it at a fundamental level and improving upon it. "We will return in 1 month," Rose announced. "Those who wish to learn from us, to grow beyond the limitations of the past, will be welcome as allies. Those who choose conflict should remember the Phoenix ships and know that we have only shown you a fraction of our capabilities." As the Tomorrow prepared to leave coalition space, Rose received reports from the hidden bases they had established. Already, some coalition scientists were reaching out in secret, eager to learn humanity's methods. The infiltration of coalition society had begun, not through war, but through the irresistible offer of knowledge and progress. "They're already arguing about who gets to ally with us first," Tom reported with a smile. "The coalition is starting to fracture, just as we predicted." Rose nodded, watching the alien worlds through the Tomorrow's transparent hull. The ship's ability to shift between solid and clear states was another example of human innovation, combining the hard defensive materials of one coalition species with the energy manipulation techniques of another. "Send the final message," she ordered. The Tomorrow broadcast one last time before disappearing from coalition space. "The future belongs to those who can adapt. Earth stands ready to help you join that future. The choice is yours." In the days that followed, the coalition of 7 suns began to transform. The rigid structures that had held their society together for 10,000 years were breaking down, replaced by new alliances and partnerships. Some embraced the change, eager to learn humanity's ways of combining technologies. Others resisted, clinging to their traditional methods. But all of them knew one undeniable truth: the galaxy would never be the same. Earth had emerged not just as a military power, but as a force for change and progress. The age of single-species empires was ending, replaced by something new and unpredictable. And aboard the Tomorrow, as it sailed through the darkness between stars, Rose smiled. Humanity's greatest victory hadn't come through warfare, but through their ability to show others a better way. The transformation of the galaxy had begun, and Earth was leading the way into an uncertain but exciting future. 1 year had passed since the Tomorrow's diplomatic mission, and the galaxy had changed more in that time than in the previous 1,000 years. Commander Rose stood in the newly constructed Galactic Exchange Center, built in Earth's orbit using a combination of all known alien technologies. The massive station served as a meeting point for species from across the coalition and beyond. The station itself was a testament to humanity's philosophy. Its halls could transform to accommodate any alien species, Its technology was a harmonious blend of different civilizations' achievements, and its very existence proved that cooperation was stronger than conquest. "The last holdout empire has requested talks," Tom announced, now serving as Earth's chief diplomatic officer. His experience during the Tomorrow's mission had made him perfect for the role. "They've seen how their former allies have progressed with our help, and they don't want to be left behind." Rose walked through the station's main observation deck, where representatives from dozens of worlds gathered to share knowledge and ideas. The sight would have been impossible just a year ago. Coalition species that had barely tolerated each other now worked side by side, excited by the possibilities that came from combining their technologies. "Show me the latest progress reports," she requested, and Tom projected a holographic display showing developments across former Coalition space. The changes were remarkable. One empire had combined their energy manipulation technology with another's biological sciences, creating new medical treatments that could cure diseases thought incurable. Another had merged their quantum shield technology with Earth's adaptable systems, developing defenses that could protect entire star systems from natural disasters. But most impressive was how the former Coalition members had started innovating on their own, learning from humanity's example. They were no longer stuck in their traditional ways of thinking, but actively seeking new combinations and possibilities. "We've received another message from the deep space probes," Tom reported. "3 more civilizations beyond Coalition space have requested contact. They've heard about what we've achieved here." In the station's massive engineering bay, humans worked alongside aliens, teaching them the art of combining technologies. The Phoenix ships, once symbols of Earth's military might, had become templates for a new kind of vessel, ships that could adapt to serve any purpose, from exploration to terraforming. Star Weaver, no longer the Grand Master but now serving as his empire's representative to Earth, approached Rose. His skin glowed with the deep blue of contentment and respect. "Your people have done more than defeat us," he said. "You've shown us how to defeat our own limitations." Rose nodded, remembering the fear in his skin color when they first met in battle. "That was always our goal," she replied. "Earth didn't want to end the Coalition. We wanted to help it evolve." The station's alert system suddenly activated, but not with a warning. Another breakthrough had been achieved in one of the research labs. A team of scientists from 3 different Coalition species, working with human guidance, had discovered a new form of faster-than-light travel by combining their different understandings of space-time. "This is how it should have been from the start," Tom said, reviewing the discovery. "Every species has pieces of the puzzle. We just needed to show them how to put them together." In another part of the station, a massive holographic display showed the current state of known space. The rigid borders of the old Coalition empires were fading, replaced by overlapping zones of cooperation and exchange. Trade routes that once carried weapons and slaves now transported knowledge and innovation. Rose received a priority message from Earth's Defense Command. The automated defense systems they'd helped develop had just prevented a natural disaster on a former Coalition world. The quantum shields, enhanced by combining 3 different species' technologies, had deflected an asteroid that would have caused mass extinction. "This is what power really means," she told the gathered representatives. "Not the ability to destroy, but the ability to save, to build, to grow." The station's adaptive architecture shifted around them as a delegation from a newly discovered civilization arrived. The walls transformed to match their environmental needs while maintaining comfort for the other species present. Such seamless integration of different biological requirements would have been impossible under the old Coalition. "The graduate program is ready to begin," Tom reported. The first class of alien students would start learning humanity's methods of technological innovation. Not just the technical details, but the way of thinking that had allowed Earth to advance so quickly. Star Weaver watched as young members of his species excitedly discussed ideas with former enemies. "We spent 10,000 years believing we had reached the peak of achievement," he said. "Your people showed us we had only found a plateau and taught us how to climb higher." In the station's secure communication center, Rose reviewed reports from across the galaxy. The changes weren't just technological. Cultures were transforming, becoming more open to new ideas and possibilities. The rigid hierarchies of the coalition were being replaced by flexible networks of cooperation. Another Phoenix ship has completed its first mission under joint command, Tom announced. The ship, crewed by members of 4 different species working together, had successfully mapped an unexplored sector of space. Its ability to transform and adapt had made it perfect for peaceful exploration. Rose remembered the fear in the coalition fleet when they first saw the Phoenix ships in battle. Now these vessels were symbols of unity and progress, their transforming capabilities serving as a constant reminder that adaptation and change were strengths, not weaknesses. The station's long-range sensors detected unusual energy readings from deep space, far beyond known territories. Once, such a discovery would have prompted military preparations. Now, it sparked excitement and scientific curiosity among all species. "Prepare a joint expedition," Rose ordered. "Let's show the galaxy what we can achieve together." As she looked out at the stars through the station's transparent walls, Rose reflected on how far they had come. Earth had faced potential conquest and turned it into an opportunity for universal progress. The coalition of 7 suns had ended not with destruction, but with transformation into something greater. "The first generation of hybrid ships is ready for launch," Tom reported. These vessels weren't just human designs shared with allies. They were true collaborations, combining the best ideas from multiple species into something entirely new. In the station's Grand Assembly Hall, representatives gathered to sign new treaties of cooperation. The former coalition species had learned that sharing knowledge made them stronger, not weaker. Earth had shown them that true power came from growing together, not fighting alone. Starweaver addressed the assembly, his skin shimmering with colors of hope and excitement. "We thought Earth would be our end," he said. "Instead, they showed us a new beginning. They taught us that the greatest strength lies not in standing apart, but in coming together." Rose listened to his words, knowing that this was just the start. Humanity had changed the galaxy not through conquest or domination, but by showing others the power of adaptation and cooperation. The age of isolated empires was over. A new era of shared discovery and growth had begun. And somewhere in deep space, the Tomorrow continued its mission, seeking new civilizations to invite into this growing community of worlds. Earth had proven that the end of one way of life could be the beginning of something far greater, a future where different species worked together to achieve what none could do alone. The stars seemed brighter now, full of promise rather than threat. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. They had become teachers, guides, and partners to the very civilizations that had once threatened them, proving that the greatest power in the universe wasn't the ability to destroy, but the wisdom to build something new together.